Welcome back to Power Cave Training. Today we're going to cover some of the comments that I've received. By the way, I do read all the comments and I appreciate them. And if I could answer the questions in there, I certainly will. If you like what you see here, again, subscribe, hit the notification bell. But the things we're going to talk about, number one is that the people that critique how I lift or about my form, I don't think about that too much one way or the other because I don't know the qualifications of the person that's criticizing it or approving of it. I don't know what they've done, what they've accomplished, if they're a trainer, or if they're a power lifter, if they're not. So I really can't let that affect the way I do stuff very much. One of the other comments I've gotten, I actually got a comment 10 years ago on an Indian club video that I shot doing Indian clubs, and the guy wrote I should learn what I'm doing so I don't hurt anybody because I don't know what I'm doing. And now we're 10 years later and I've trained 50, 60 people on Indian clubs at a high level and nobody's ever gotten hurt, so we'll leave that where it's at. I did get a comment from a senior gentleman my age, a little older than I am, that's talking about my bench press, but also brought up that he has trouble deadlifting or squatting because he has a bad back. Now, if you have an upper back problem, that is one thing, and then you just have to kind of compensate for that by using lighter weights and proper form. There are certain technique things that should be across the board being done when you lift it. Otherwise, there's individual form and technique that's also different. So I'm going to show some of that stuff today. I used to have back pain all the time. I would get into a training cycle for a competition, and if I did a 8 or 10 week cycle, by week 4 I'd be so sore I could hardly move. So I changed the way I lifted, and so the things you want to take into consideration when you lift: your height, your stance, your strengths, the length of your arms, the length of your legs, your flexibility, the strength of your hamstrings. And if you figure all that stuff out, you'll find a form that works for you. Now, I didn't learn a lot of this till I started training my grandsons, and they're both 6'3", 6'4". I never had to deal with them having every year have to change something about their stance because of how fast they were growing. So we changed a lot of their stuff, and I learned the same thing. But I got to the other end of it. As I hit my mid-60s, I started shrinking. I used to be 5'9" and a quarter. I'm now 5'7" and 3/4. So my form is different deadlifting now because my arms stayed the same length, my torso shrunk. So when I try to deadlift the way I used to, I go down too far, my arms bend, or I get out of position. So my butt's higher now than it used to be. But the biggest thing I've learned, and I'm going to demonstrate today, is on squats and deadlifts, it's a lower body lift. This just holds the weight. This upper part just holds the weight. It's a lower body hinge, and it's muscles are being used as your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads. So when you're going down tight, when you come up, if this is a slam, you want to slam into the bar. You want to squeeze your butt, squeeze your thighs. That's where your power comes from. If you don't do that, you end up using your lower back. So I'm going to show a couple of things here. I'll move the camera a little bit. So when you're deadlifting, the thing you don't ever want to have happen, and it does if we go heavy enough, is to lead with your butt. So if you come down and get the bar, and the first thing that happens to you when you start pulling is that you're going to be doing a whole back lift. So what it is a hinge. I'm hinging going down, I'm hinging going up. I'm not changing the position of my butt as far as height goes. So when I go down and get it, this is it, and I want to take the slack out of the bar, and I'm going to thrust into it. Squeeze my butt. If you lead with your butt, and you get the bar nice and close to your legs, you know, rock up against your shins a little bit if you can, but if you lead with your butt, what happens is the weight goes down in front of you. Makes it way heavier, puts all the strain in your lower back. Same thing with a squat. When you squat, when you come down, if you squat and you do that, if you don't fall on your face, you're going to definitely strain your back a lot. It's the same kind of a hinge. It's a thrust into the bar, and that's where your power is. That's where your strength is. You do a lot more with your butt, your hamstrings, and your quads than you can with your upper back or lower back. So that's the changes that I've made, and my lifts are now going back up where they were going down every year, going down a little bit. Now they're going back up a little bit every year. So it's something you have to focus on doing. It takes practice. And remember, what you do on your light sets is what you're going to do on your heavy sets. So if you have crappy technique and crappy form on your light sets, you're going to have crappy form on your higher up sets, and you're going to miss it. And the other thing that comes to every kind of lifting, even every kind of workout, is your attitude. Most of the lifts I've missed in competition, I missed before I ever got to the bar. In my mind, I'd given up, or in my mind, I thought I was going to pull. In my heart, I knew I wasn't going to do it or going to get it. And there's other times where the weight I should have never got, but I went up to the attitude, especially if I have a good competition with somebody else in my division. I get hungry to win, and I will go above what I'm able to do. So that's why I now try to think that way all the time. I never settle for a lesser weight. If I get to 350 pounds and say, I'm going to do 1, now if I can do 5, I'll do 5. I want to get stronger. I want to get an attitude of not quitting. I never quit till I cannot pull the weight. Till somebody says set it down, I know I'm not going to get the lift. If you want to analyze your deadlift or your squat, the best position is the side position. That's what the side judges see. And the side judges have a much better view than the head referee. When I would be a head referee, I gave a lot less red lights than I did as a side judge, because I see every little flaw from the side. Same with the bench press, but especially with the squat and especially with the deadlift. You're going to see all the things that are illegal that you can't really see from the front, hitching, ramping. You see a lot better from the side. So if you're going to film yourself from the side, have somebody film you, have somebody else critique you. But remember, the most important thing is this is a hip hinge. It's not a back lift or a leg lift. It's a hinge. Top part, it's a boom. It's that. And you can actually do exercises where you put a bar on your back, or you can carry something on your side. You go down, bam, bam, bam. Do that over and over again. Concentrate them always. These gotta get locked hard. They can't just come up and stop. They gotta drive. That's where your thrusting power comes from. This comes in there. Kettlebell swings are great for that. I do a lot of heavy kettlebell swings. And if you do them right, you'll have very little chance of injury. Your lifts will go up. And these are, if you can't squat or deadlift, you're taking away 2 of the very best exercises for your whole body that you can do, and you're not doing them. So hope that helps. We'll see you next time. Good luck with your lifting. Take care.